We thought it was just a light blinking across the lake, some bored neighbor, maybe a prank. But when we stepped into that house, we realized someone had been waiting. Not for help, for us.
There's a noise I still hear sometimes when I sleep. A hard, uneven rhythm, footsteps on old wood, echoing up stairwells, turning corners. Not fast, just deliberate, confident, like they knew I was listening, like they wanted me to. This happened last summer. I was 20, still reeling from a breakup, crashing at my buddy James' lakehouse. James was the kind of guy who never worried about anything. His family was loaded, old government money, lawyer dad with 5 houses and no time to use them. The lake place was a monster of a house, perched on a private shoreline like a crown. Expensive wood, massive dock, a boathouse bigger than my apartment. We'd partied there a dozen times. But this night wasn't a party. It was just me and James, drinking beers, playing music through his Bluetooth speaker, talking crap like we always did. We were halfway through a crate when I noticed it, a flashing light across the water. At first I thought it was some kind of lens glare or maybe a faulty porch bulb, but then it started pulsing. 3 short flashes, 3 long, 3 short. SOS, James said without even looking up. I raised a brow. What, you speak Morse now? He just smirked. Everyone knows that one. I pulled out my phone, checked it. He was right. I don't know why that unsettled me more. Something about it felt intentional. We watched it repeat 4 more times before it stopped dead. James wanted to call the cops, but we'd been drinking, and I was already dealing with a DUI. Last thing I needed was to show up on their radar again. Besides, if it was a prank, we'd feel stupid. If it wasn't, well, we figured we'd know when we got there. We grabbed a couple of switchblades from James' brother's room. He was into weird gear, survival stuff. It was just a precaution. I wasn't expecting anything. We weren't. We dragged the kayak down to the water. James cracked a joke about ghost ships. I laughed. But we were both laughing too hard, too loud. Like we were trying to drown out the sound of our own second thoughts. The paddle across was rougher than I expected. Wind kicked up. Water slapped the sides of the kayak in sharp bursts. The air buzzed with insects, with the distant echo of something mechanical, an old generator maybe, from another house nearby. But the house we were heading toward, it was different. As we neared it, we could see it clearly. Bigger than the rest. Unpainted wood. A second-story window open. The dock had collapsed in on one side. Water splashed and gurgled where it met the rotting boards. The light was gone. We dragged the kayak into the yard. Grass swished around our legs. The wind moaned through a broken wind chime somewhere above. We didn't go for the front door. No way. We circled the house, boards creaking under our feet even outside. Found a cracked window and slid in, one at a time. Inside, the place wasn't quiet, it breathed. Floorboards groaned under pressure that wasn't ours. Somewhere upstairs, I swear I heard a door click. And the weird part, the house wasn't trashed. It wasn't cluttered. It was empty. Like it had never been furnished at all. No chairs, no frames, no lights. Just blank walls and that awful creaking sound, always a few steps behind us, like the house was resetting itself every time we entered a room. We moved quickly. Boots thumping across the floorboards. Each step echoed. We called out softly at first, "Hello, anyone here?" But our voices just bounced off bare walls and disappeared. Not into silence, into noise. Background noise we couldn't place. Floorboards shifting upstairs, wind rattling shutters, that generator hum that wouldn't stop. We reached the stairs. I remember climbing them and feeling like every step might give out. I remember the wheezing squeal the railing made when James grabbed it. I remember the hallway, longer than it should have been. The last door on the left. That was where the light came from. We approached fast, ready to end this. No creeping. No suspense. I opened the door and froze. The room was barren, except for one object by the window, a film projector. No film. No screen. just aimed straight out the window. The hairs on my arms stood up. I didn't say anything. James didn't wait. He turned and ran. I followed. We thudded back down the stairs, our footsteps a clumsy rhythm of panic. That's when I heard it. A door upstairs burst open. Hard slam. Then fast, rhythmic steps, someone running. Not stumbling. Not shouting. Just coming. We didn't even look back. We dove out the window, scraped against the frame, hit the ground hard. James was ahead of me, sprinting toward the water. Then he stopped and screamed. The kayak was gone. I spun around and caught a flash of movement near the trees, someone charging straight at us. A man. No mask. No expression. Just cold, deliberate speed. I yanked my switchblade out, hand trembling. James didn't wait. He leapt into the lake. Hoodie, jeans, shoes, all of it. And I went in after. The water slammed into me. Choked me. Waves crashed into my mouth. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears, the slap of James' arms hitting the water ahead, the splash behind us that wasn't either of us. We swam harder. The lights of James' house didn't seem to get closer, but the sounds behind us did. A splash. A cough. A sharp inhale. Footsteps again, on the dock now. Bare feet slapping waterlogged wood. When we finally reached the dock, I felt like I was going to pass out. We climbed up. Locked every door. Turned on every light. We didn't talk. We just sat there, soaked, shivering, trying to catch our breath through the chaos in our heads. The police took over an hour to arrive. They found nothing. The other house. Empty. No footprints. No sign of a projector. No boat. No one. Probably just squatters, they said. Probably just paranoia. You shouldn't have gone over there. We didn't argue. James never talked about it again. I think his parents forbade him to. Me. I moved on. I tried to. But I still hear that rhythm sometimes. The footsteps. The projector clicking. The slapping of bare feet on wet wood. Because somewhere out there, someone was in that house. And he wasn't hiding from us. He was waiting.